Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 7 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 7 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter persons. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Yeah. Grade 7 math. Chapter we're on right now is persons. Let's just start with the lesson that is what percentage is elaborated. What percentage of the shape is purple? So the complete square represents the 100, right? So 10, 20, 21 and 22. 22 out of 100 are purple, right? So 22 out of 100 we can write it as 22%. So 22% of the picture is like 22% of the shape is purple. Got it? The correct option is 22%. Let's just start with the test questions. What percentage of the shape is green? So 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33. So 33 out of 100 are green. So you can write it as 33% of the figure is green. The correct option is 33%. Option number one is the correct option. That is 33%. What percentage of the shape is green? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 out of 10 are green, right? So just divide 3 by 10 and we need to multiply it by the 100 because we need to write the answer in percentage form, right? 0 and 0 cancel out. So 30% of the shape is green. That is 30%. Option number one is the correct option. What percentage of the shape is pink? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. 9 out of 10 are pink. So 9 by 10, you need to multiply it by the 100. So 0 and 0 cancel out. So 90% of the shape is pink. So the correct option is 90% because 90% of the shape is pink. What percentage of the shape is red? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good. 79% of the shape is red. What percentage of the shape is purple? That is 40%. Option number 2 is the correct option. 40% it is. What percentage of the shape is pink? 60%. Option number 2 is the correct option. What percentage of the shape is purple? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is 22%. Option number 1 is the correct option. 22% of the shape is purple. What percentage of the shape is green? 41% of the shape is green. Option number 2 is the correct option. What percentage of the shape is green? That is 27%. Option number 1 is the correct option. What percentage of the shape is purple? That is 12%. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is convert between percents, fractions, and decimals. How do you write 0.54 as a percentage? So we need to learn how do we write 0.54. 0.54 means the number is in decimal form, right? So basically we are going to learn how do we convert from decimal to percentage, right? So 0.54. Just multiply the decimal by 100. So 0.54 times 100, that is 54%, right? So 0.54 times 100 is 54%. Let's just start with the test questions. How do you write 0.68 as a percentage? So we are going to convert from decimal to percent. So we need to multiply it by the 100. So 0.68 times 100. We are going to multiply with the 100. The 100 has two zeros. So you need to move decimal points to right, to decimal places right. So that is 68%. That is 68%. Option number 2 is the correct option. How do you write 0.54 as a percentage form? So again, we have 0.54 as a percentage. So we need to multiply it by the 100. So 0.54 times 100. So we are going to move the decimal point two places right. So that is 54%. The correct option is 54%. Option number 1 is the correct option. How do you write 70% as a decimal? 70% as a decimal means we need to 70% means you can write it as 70 over 100, right? So the decimal point is here. You need to move it two places left, so that is 0.70, or you can write 0.7. That is the correct option. 0.7 it is. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 0.7. How do you write 10% as a decimal? 10 divided by 100. So which is the correct option? That is 0.1. Option number 2 is the correct option. How do you write 0.5 as a percentage? So we need to do 0.5 times 100. That is 50%. Option number 1 is the correct option. Hmm. How do you write 22% as a decimal? So we need to write 22% as a decimal. So just divide 22 by 100. So 22 divided by 100 is, that is 0.22. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option 1 is the correct option. The correct option is option number 1, that is 0.22. How do you write 20% as a fraction? So we need to write 20% in the fractional form. So 20% we can write as 20 over 100, right? Now we need to write the answer in simplest form. So 20 times 1 is 25 and 20 times 5 is 100. That is 1 divided by 5. The correct option is 1 by 5. The correct option is 1 by 5. Option number 2 is the correct option. How do you write 26% as a fraction in simplest form? So you need to write 26% in simplest form. So 26% means that is 26 by 100. Now convert it into the next simplest fraction. Divide them by the 2. So that is 13 by 50. Option number. Option number 1 is the correct option. That would be 13 by 50. 13 by 50. Option number 2 is the correct option. How do you write 72% as a fraction in simplest form? 72%, right? So write 72 as 72 by 100. So write the answer in simplest form. So we need to write it by the greatest decimal. Let's just divide it by the 100. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 8 is 32, and 18 over 25. 18 over 25 it is. The correct option is option number 2, that is 18 by 25. How do you write 3 by 4 as a percentage? Three by 4 as percentage. So we need to make the denominator equal to 100, right? So 4 times 25 is 100. So just multiply both the numerator and denominator by 25. That is 75 over 100, and we can write it as 75%. Option number 1 is the correct option, that is 75%. How do you write 60% in the simplest form? That is, we can write it as 60 by 100. So 3 by 5 it is. The correct option is 3 by 5. The correct option is 3 by 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, that is compare persons to fractions and decimals. Which sign makes the statement true? 98% and 95%, right? So we need to compare, right? So which sign makes the statement true? Both of them are in the same percentage, that is 98%, right? So that is 98% is greater than 95%. That is 98% is greater than 95%. Let's just start with the test questions. Which sign makes the statement true? 71% and one half. So we need to compare them, right? But when we are comparing, they must be in the same form. So we need to convert then 1 by 2 to the percentage form. So 1 by 2, we need to make the denominator equals to 100. So multiply it by the 100. That is 50 over 100. That is 50%. Option, so we have 71% and 50%. So 71% is greater than 50%. That is 71% is greater than 50%. So greater it is. The correct option is greater. Which sign makes the statement true? 13% and 13%. They are exactly equal. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which sign makes the statement true? 19% and 0.5. So we need to make them the same. So 0.5 converted into percentage form. So 0.5 times 100 is 50%. 19% is less than 50%. 9% is less than 50%. Option number 2 is the correct option, less it is. Which sign makes the statement true? 80% and 0.8. So which is the correct option? 80% and 0.8. Convert this 0.8 into percentage form. So 0.8 times 100 is 0.8 times 100 equals 80%, right? So both sides are exactly equal. That is 80%, so both sides are exactly equal. Which sign makes the statement true? 100% is equal to. Both sides are exactly equal. 100% is equal to 100%. Which sign makes the statement true? 42% and zero point 0.1. So convert zero point 0.1 into the percentage form. So when we convert it into the percentage form, it would be 0.1 times 100 is 0.1 times 100 is 10%. So 42% is greater than 10%. The correct option is greater. Option number 2 is the correct option. The correct option is greater. Which sign makes the statement true? 0.939 and 76%. So convert it to the percentage form. So just multiply it by the 100. Move decimal places 2 places, right? 93.9% is greater than 76%. That is greater. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which sign makes the statement true? 38% and 19 by 50. Mul- just convert it into the percentage form. We need to make the denominator equal to 100. So 19 times 2 and 50 times 2. So that is 38 over 100. So 38% is equal to 38%. So both sides are exactly equal. Both sides are, though that is exactly equal. Option number 2 is the correct option. %98 is greater than 95%. Option number 2 is the correct option. What which sign makes the statement true? So 3 by 4 converted into the percentage form. Make the denominator equal to 100. So that is 75 over 100. So 75% is equal to 75%. Both sides are exactly equal, so option number 3 is the correct option. Which sign makes the statement true? So 0.3 times 100. 79% and 0.3 times 100 is 30%. So 79% is greater than 30%. So greater it is. 40% and 42%. So which is the correct option? 40% is less than 42%. Which sign makes the statement true? - 44%, and we need to convert 1 by 5 to percentage form. So we need to make the denominator equal to 100. So 1 over 5 times 20, because 20 times 5 is 100. So that is 20 over 100, and that equals 20%, right? So 44% is greater than 20%. So option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 7 math chapter. We were working on is persons. The lesson we have covered today are what percentage is illustrated, convert between percents, fractions, and decimals, compare percents to fractions and decimals, and estimate percents of numbers. So please make sure before the next session you can complete these questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until any of the lessons you can simply click on the live channel there to help you, or either you can in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So any questions you can please ask if you have any. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions?